Welcome back to Brashenomics. I'm Ben Brashen, and here we are, day after the crazy Monday Night Football debacle. And, you know, when you have the referees, people are going out there, they're doing the best they can, but, you know, as Michael Busaka said, why would you guys want to go out and fall on your face so hard every time? And when you work with a professional, which these guys really aren't, that's the other key. These guys actually aren't professional referees. They're just moving up to become them, I suppose. But when you really do work with a professional, most professionals are going to bow out of things that they aren't very good at, unlike the NFL scab referees. David Murphy joins us, and David Murphy is certainly a professional in the credit business. He knows more about credit than anybody I've ever met. With over 20 years in credit repair, Credit Insider Club is the Pacific Northwest's leading, most experienced credit repair company and recognized as one of the most highly respected in the United States. Hey, David, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back, Ben.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And you're a sports fan. I mean, you watch these games.
I do.
What the referee thing? It's amazing, isn't it?
It's bad. It's too quick of a game for these guys.
Yeah, and I know you're a Raiders fan, so I mean, you're watching.
I'm not a Hawks Nest. I'm a black hole.
You're a black hole guy, and you know, I mean, some vicious hits in that game that just good hurt.
Yeah, Hayward Bay got knocked out.
11 minutes he was down. That's a long time.
Yeah, he was knocked out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, out cold. Well, David, let's get into this because you know people have personal credit. And a lot of people have businesses, and maybe they're not real clear on how these, what's business credit, versus personal credit. What is the difference?
The difference is there's a credit history on your small business. Now, if you've been in business for a while, you may already have a credit score on your business. If you're brand new, in order to get funding for your business in your business name, you need to become a part of Dun & Bradstreet or Experian Business Credit Report or even the Equifax one so that you can establish credit and be able to get funding.
And so when you start thinking about funding, I mean, this is like small business loan. This is, I mean, maybe you want to finance a building. I mean, it's basically any type of company that wants to finance something, but not personally, not for the owners, but through the company.
If you're going to go through the owners, then you're going to be personally responsible for paying back the business.
Paying back the debt.
The debt of the business, yes.
And
so the key is to get credit under the business name where you're not a personal guarantor.
Is that something that is, okay, so you go and you get maybe a credit card.
Yes.
Maybe it's a low limit credit card at first or something along those lines?
You need to get, I would say, a minimum of 3 positive accounts, 3 credit cards that are reporting on a monthly basis. Best case scenarios, you have 5 accounts that you pay as agreed. That's the key. You can't be 30, 60, or 90 days late in paying these, or no one's going to loan to you, because you're a credit risk at that point.
Kind of the same as a personal.
It's very similar. The scoring model is a little bit different, similar in certain ways. The models where, 35% is based on payment history and credit utilization and length of your business history and accumulation of new credit and a credit mix revolving open installment accounts.
So how do you go get a score for your business? Because I would imagine most small businesses, or a lot of small businesses, who maybe don't actually have they haven't gone out and done this.
They need to apply at Dun & Bradstreet, which is the oldest business credit rater. And they've been in business since 1841. They have data on over 206 million businesses worldwide. So it's not just the United States, it's worldwide. So you got to go, and if you have been in business for a while, you may actually have a Dun & Bradstreet number. If not, you need to get one, and that can cost you some money, a couple $100. It's a 9-digit number. It's very similar to like the EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, employment identification number.
Which is like a social security number for businesses.
Right. Once you get that number, they're going to give you a Paydex score, and that is weighted by the amount of money you use in your business. Okay? It's a numerical indicator of how the firm pays. So if you pay ahead of time, you're going to get a higher score. If you pay on time, anywhere from 80 to 100 is going to be a good Paydex score. Anything lower than that, you may have a hard time borrowing.
And this is really just when you pay?
Yeah, it's based on how you pay your vendors, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your creditors. Now, there are different firms out there that will give you business credit cards. Not everybody will, but I mean, places like Office Depot, Staples, Sam's Club, Lowe's, Costco, American Express, Chevron, BP. These are potentials where you can get a business credit card.
Chevron and BP will probably give anybody a credit card for gas.
The thing is, also, if you're late, your score is going to go down, but it doesn't affect your individual FICO score.
So those are places. So if you have a small business and you want to get business credit so that maybe your business can actually borrow money on its own someday, then going to like a Staples or Office Depot, Sam's Club, Lowe's, Costco, Chevron, gas stations, BP. I mean, those are good places to get started.
Yes.
And maybe go to get, as you said, 3 to 5 of those places.
Yes, 3 to 5, pay them like clockwork.
And do you have to use them? I mean, is it important that you use them, or is it just important that you get them?
I would say, first off, get them, use them so it starts showing up on these credit scores. And generally, that's going to take 60 to 90 days. Okay? Then, if you don't want to use them and you want to use personal or you want to pay by check, fine. But get them, use them, and pay them off.
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
Just as fast as you can. So how long does it take? So you go out, you're getting these credit cards or gas cards or Costco cards, and now you're starting to do this system, or you're starting to use it and pay it off. How long is it going to take for something like the Dun & Bradstreet to recognize you?
Well, it depends on if these companies report. Now, the companies that we talked about, they report on a regular basis. So, they're going to report every 30 days. It's going to take 60 to 90 days to build this up before I would consider applying for a line of credit.
But that's a lot shorter than like a personal business. I mean, a personal credit report. I mean, you can't do anything in 60 to 90 days.
They're really looking at a 90-day window on how you pay your bills, and a 12-month window on how the company looks over the last year. Those indicators will allow people to get loans, okay? They want to know if you're going to file bankruptcy in the next 12 months. And if you're late 90 days on certain payments, then the answer is you're potentially going to get an indicator that says this company's in trouble, as compared to paying as agreed or prepaying.
Sure. So really, you kind of put yourself in this position where now you have the ability to go out and maybe get a bigger loan, or maybe even, if your business needs a delivery vehicle or something along those lines, maybe this is where you could start going out and doing bigger transactions on credit.
Right. They're going to look at each individual account that you have, how much you owe, whether or not you've got past dues, the terms of the account. They're going to look at assets, liabilities, working capital, net worth, sales, profit and loss. And then they're going to give you what is called a SER. It's Supplier Evaluation Risk Rating. It predicts the likelihood of your company filing bankruptcy in the next 12 months. There's a scoring range from 1 to 9. 1 meaning bad, 9 being you're a healthy company. Then there's another one called SSI. It is Supplier Stability Indicator, and that rates you over the first 90 days. So the second major company that's out there is Experian, which, as most people know, used to be TRW.
I don't think most people know that.
Well, they changed over. They changed over in the 80s.
Yeah.
It used to be TRW. Big company. they are headquartered, believe it or not, in Dublin, Ireland.
Really?
They have offices all over the United States, Southern California, Orange County. The big headquarters is down in Allen, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas. But they have 27 million small businesses under their what is called intelligence indicator. And IntelliScore Plus is what it's called.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like between Dun & Bradstreet and Experian and all these different scores and indicators that there's a lot of businesses that have been ranked, and so they're probably pretty good at predicting. I mean, you actually mentioned before the show about how these companies and just now that the credit piece is actually forecasted, whereas with personal credit, like getting a mortgage or a car, everything kind of looks backwards. Pretty different.
Correct. They look at three different type of models. Okay. One is commercial. Another one is blended, which is a owner model, which means that they're looking at some of the more personal FICO scores with your business. And then there's the IntelliScore Plus, which is a percentage score. And Equifax is not a big player in the business credit models. They're the smaller of the three, but the IntelliScore is very similar to FICO, that it looks at payment history, delinquencies, credit utilization, age of your business, and history of your business.
Well, David, we do have to go to break, but if you do own a business and it's new, or I suppose if it's old and you really haven't done any of these things, I mean, these are all huge items that can really help you, because you never know when your business is going to need money. You never do. And, things go up and things go down. And, some of the biggest companies in the world use lines of credit for the things that they're doing. So
that's the problem the small businesses have had to face here in the last 4 years since the debacle of 2008, is that the banks aren't giving out to small businesses as much anymore.
Yeah. Well, it makes it tough, doesn't it? Especially if they don't have a credit score, business credit score. Huh?
That's right.
David Murphy, Director of Operations for Credit Insider Club. David, thanks so much for joining us. We have to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to continue the discussion about professionals. And who knows, we'll probably equate it back to the referees from last night. We'll be back after this break.